Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Norwood High School. We're here to celebrate our seniors on senior night and thank them for all their hard work and dedication throughout the years. We'd also like to recognize Walpole seniors, and we're excited to have Walpole have a team, so that's great to be able to play them again. So first, number 11, Chuck Adejibo. Number 4, Colin Singer. Number 7, Dan Duggan. Number 14, Liam Bryan. Number 15, Jack Conti. Number 9, Aaron Levinson. And number 3, Mateus Nunes. Now for our seniors. Number 16, Mateo Diaz. If the parent garden could come down so we can take a photo. Number 8, Sunny Eugene. Accompanied by Dad Travis and Mother Mackenzie. And number 28, Xavier Watkins, accompanied by Mom Heather, Dad Eric, and Sister Athens. One more group photo. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support. Thank my assistant coach for all their hard work. And
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome up here to Norwood High School for this afternoon's senior night. Here for boys volleyball, as NCM is pleased to be bringing the Norwood Mustangs versus the Walpole Timberwolves. And we'll see how many times I call them rebels and whatnot. Mark Hoover, along with junior superstar hockey player Isla Wilson. Tell me, we just saw senior night. You're here as a junior, so the school's been a little bit different. We were talking about,
yeah. It's definitely a little empty. It's kind of weird to walk through the halls and you don't see the usual people.
Right.
Some classes are empty. The lunches are empty now. You kind of get in the line a little quicker, which is nice.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, but yeah, I'm excited.
yeah. Isla, this is going to be kind of fun. Again, both squads kind of wrapping up their regular season here. The records, if you kind of look at them on paper, the Mustangs have got 4 wins. Walpole's only got 2, but I was kind of like looking at their schedule. They play some really tough teams, so I think that this Walpole squad is certainly a very good one, and their record of 2-13 is probably a bit deceptive. But anytime you put Walpole and Norwood together, I mean, you played them in hockey.
Yeah, we played them in hockey
exactly.
this season, yeah.
That's right. You know, once you put these 2 schools on the same floor, whether it be volleyball, hockey, or track and field, it's not going to matter. There's always that rivalry. So we are underway here. Walpole in the dark blue and Norwood in the lighter blue. That could get a little confusing, but see what we can work here. We'll get some names in. They did, you know, our 3 seniors for Norwood, and drive there just goes a little deep. So Walpole will take the first point. And Isla, that's kind of the thing about volleyball. Again, I look back to when I was younger, you could only score off the serve. Now you can score at any point.
Yeah,
so
much quicker game.
It does, goes very quick. So first one to win 3 sets will take it. Nice job there, nice little block. We talked about the seniors here for Walpole, and they've got a load of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seniors on this squad out of looks like 10. So certainly, you know, there's going to be some rebuilding next year to add some bodies onto this Walpole squad. But they've got some height. If you take a look at senior Chuck Odenigbo, number 11, right there on the front line. So he's going to be quite a solid match up front. And we'll see. I think that should be. There's already discussion over at the scorers table, and maybe we broke our scoreboard already or something. Going to have to talk to Mr. Longley, see if we can't get better scoring equipment. So I know you've been, you know, heavily involved in the NCM program, both with not only NCM but the high school television. And we were just talking before we came on air what a nice job you guys did earlier this winter when you got the chance to call some of the youth hockey games. I think you guys had like 3 games.
It was really awesome. Yeah, we had 3 games in the morning. Myself, Katie Malley, and Bridget Kidd. It was awesome. Yeah, I was watching some of that, and I know that Jack was thrilled to be able to kind of have more of the students, you know, starting to call the games. And when he had asked about being able to do this one, blocked there out. So Mustangs will take that point 2-1. You know, he had called me and he said that he had reached out to you and you were more than happy to come up and join us up here for this live broadcast. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and I think he's really kind of looking forward to all the work that you guys are doing. And there's the aforementioned Odenigbo. That's just a nice touch, right? You didn't really have to put a lot of force into it. He was just able to kind of, as they say, hit them where they ain't. And they were able to tie this one up here at 2. But just like that, Mustangs get the point back as Dan Duggan on the serve puts it into the net. So that'll bring up one of the seniors, Mateo Diaz, to serve here as the librero. So as we were trying to figure it out, that's the guy that's in the back row. In the back,
Yep.
That's what we know.
That's what we know. So that's what we're going with, and it's a nice deep serve there, but a good recovery. Diaz will get that back over. Looks like there was a touch of the net in that one, but also some nice ball movement there on both sides, where both sides are trying to set each other up.
Good flow. A little back and forth.
So tied at 3 here. As Larkin on the serve for the Timberwolves. And drops a little bit deep as Eugene's match. And Eugene, another senior, and I understand, well, was in one of your classes, right? But now that he's a senior,
he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, nice little dig, yeah, right? Luke Fleming there.
Subby's probably happy he's gone, though. We both suffered through AP pre-calc this year.
Dodged that one.
Yeah.
In my high school career, they said, Mark, you're having trouble spelling AP. I don't think you need to take AP calculus or pre-calc, so tied at 4 here in the first game. It's just going to touch the net. Yep. So well done there. You kind of see they call him X. Xavier Watkins, kind of looking at that number 28. He was here on the near side and was wise, not to touch that one, just kind of like let that roll out of bounds off of the net. So Mustangs with a 5-4 lead. Yeah, that's tough. You can see the way, Isla, it seems like the Mustangs are kind of working that set to the far side by the net. And on that one there, again, Odenigbo just slides over and
able to get there.
Yeah. Some nice height and Odenigbo on a good service. Set there to Aaron Levinson. That's strong. I tell you, Eugene on that far side, number 8, he's just been kind of hanging right there, and they put that in his wheelhouse. And boy, he's been able to deliver a couple times. So we'll see what he can do here on the service. That one looked like it kind of handcuffed Diaz a little bit there.
A little miscommunication there.
Yeah, right, yeah. And,
well, seem to be joking about it now.
Yeah. It is interesting because, a sport like this is a lot like any sport, right? You play hockey now year-round, and the communication on the ice or on the court is so critical.
So critical.
To know where everybody is. And, if you kind of miss out on something like that, it can lead to a point. But the Mustangs able to get it right back. So Luke Fleming on the serve. Oh, nice little touch there by Aaron Levinson, number 9. It's one of those that kind of freezes them,
Yeah.
And he wasn't quite
it's a
sure where.
Sneaky drop.
Yep. It doesn't have to be like, with a big windmill come down with all that power. You just
tap it over.
Touch, yeah. So we'll see what Matthias Nunez can do. Puts it in play for the Timberwolves. Looks like 2 hits there. Double hit. We were talking about the senior heaviness of Walpole. You look at the Norwood side, we only have
3, I think.
3 seniors and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 freshmen starting. So
young team.
Very young team, very promising. It's nice to see, the program grow and develop.
Yes.
So, and I thought I had heard Norwood head coach mentioned something about he was glad to see Walpole was able to have enough guys to field a team. So maybe there had been, and I was not aware of this, that Walpole had not had enough guys to have a team. So hopefully they do, and they'll continue to grow their program as well. So tied at 8 here in the first, and that's going to go deep. So Mustangs will take the point, hop up by 1. So Akeem Cohen, the sophomore, with the service for the Mustangs. Looked like that one was heading out, but Odenigbo decides to play it in. No damage. Conti, the libero for Walpole in the white jersey, number 15. That's
a little far out.
A little far, yeah. It was interesting because Watkins there, he almost kind of like pushes it.
Yeah.
And then that just missed the far corner there. So we're tied at 9. A nice even match here both ways. And Norwood gets the point on that one. Oh, it must have missed it. I'm assuming, I'm trying to, again, trying to figure this out as we go along, but it looks like the referee who's up on the stairs, maybe one of the Walpole guys touched it on a block and then it went out. So point to the Mustangs, 10-9. Oh, nice. Oh.
Nice serve.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, on that one, that's a great point. Yeah, Diaz, it just really kind of died as it came over the net. And Conte tried to dig it, but it could only put it into the net, and Walpole couldn't capitalize. So Mustangs now up by 2, 11-9. Running a little straight here, yeah. It's kind of fun to watch Isla when they kind of get into a groove there. Serves like they want that ball right back and ready to go.
Team really gets into it, even the kids on the bench.
A little bit too, like we probably jinxed him, right? He was on a roll, and we're like, great job. Yeah. That's why sometimes I'm like, don't even mention that they're doing really well, because it comes back and haunts them. So Walpole takes the point on that one, but Diaz was able to get some nice points for them, and Mustangs still hold a 12-10 advantage here in their first game. Mustangs take it right back. So Randall, one of the freshmen here, number 13 on the serve. Oh, nice dig. It's interesting when you can see them kind of like settle that ball down.
Yeah.
Nice job.
A nice hit.
Yeah. I think Eugene has been working on that far side, number 8.
I'm really liking that side.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he kind of switches. He'll come to this side, and then I've seen like Akeem Cohen, number 2. He might slide up a little bit every now and then. I think they seem to like to set that far side. Big block, but blocked it onto the Walpole side. 15-10 now. Mustangs up by 5. And I think that Coach Zach Okolowitz is going to call the timeout here for Walpole. So, Isla in the first, we're just underway here in the first game. What do you like in terms of what you've seen from Norwood out here out of the gate?
I'm liking the communication.
Yeah.
The ball's coming over to their side a lot, but I think they're doing a good job just slowing it down and really communicating and getting it over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think one of the things too, it's like a lot of sports, right? It's the movement sometimes away from the ball or away from the puck.
They're getting in the right places. They're being there so that they can make the play.
Yep.
And as we've seen, Sebi gets there a lot. They set it up, and he's in the right place, and then he makes a play.
Yeah, I think Coach has got to be pleased with the start thus far for the Mustangs, and again, it is the best of 5, so you don't want to get ahead of ourselves too quickly. I was looking, Walpole, again, they are currently ranked 37 in the pairwise rankings, and Norwood's 42, so neither squad is likely to make the tournament because you take the top 32. But if you look at the opponents that Walpole's played, I think they've got like the second toughest schedule in D2. So, records again can be really deceiving. You've played schools where you kind of like you look at them on paper and you're like, oh,
we've got this.
We got this. Ooh, I guess
then
we don't.
Step on the ice and a whole different story.
Exactly. That's why they played on the court or on the ice and not on paper, right? So 15-11. Mustangs holding on. Nice save there by number 7, Dan Duggan, but not able to finish. Mustangs up by 5, keep that 5-point lead. Recovery. That was a nice recovery. We were just talking about communication there, Island. It almost kind of looked like Norwood.
Little mishap there.
Yeah, but they were able to get fortunate on that one. But it speaks, to the importance of, talking to each other, especially in that front line. So Sebi Eugene with the serve with a 17-11 lead.
Nice play there.
Yeah, perfect position by Luke Fleming, the freshman. Increase that lead to 18. It is kind of funny, you mentioned how you can see the benches, every player, essentially for Norwood, they're all standing. Same thing with Walpole's. They seem to stand the entire time. So other than probably between sets, those chairs aren't getting much of a workout.
No.
Coaches aren't sitting either. Maybe folks keeping stats, but that's about it. Mustangs now up 19-11. With the serve. It's too bad. You saw that Nunez right there was trying to set.
Yeah.
I think it was to Singer, and it just kind of stopped on him almost. So game point here is Mustangs up 20-11. Oh, not by much. That's just out. So Walpole lives to see another serve. As Singer, one of the seniors we had mentioned beforehand, serves for the Timberwolves. Nice block. And deep again. Timberwolves cut it down to 7, 20-13. Singer will try keep that streak going. Ooh.
Fortunate there.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's in that no man's land, right? You know, you saw Diaz was just a little too deep and didn't quite take the step on it, and then it dies as it gets towards the net. So it's 2014. And that will do it. Mustangs will take the first one. Nope, it's 25. See? It was so funny because as I was leaving, my wife said, make sure you know what you're talking about. And I'm just thinking 21. So George Gurney, the master of sports scores, reminded us that it's 25. First one to 25. So Sam's going, no, it wasn't me. I'm like, oh, no, that guy knows his stuff. Did I say George?
Yeah.
I always talk about your old man. No, that's who I meant. I meant your dad. He's like, he knows all about that stuff. Sam Gurney knows all about that stuff. Now we're at 22-14. All right, now we'll get back in gear.
23-14.
That's it. I'm all discombobulated. I just got to get to the next match. Trying to close out the first one here. Good work at the net by the Mustangs. Oh. Walpole refuses to go away. Down by 8. Mateus Nunez, the senior, number 3, will serve for Walpole. Oh, terrific block.
Really nice play there.
Yeah, Nate Karavitz, the sophomore. That was a perfect play. Now that should put him at game point. Right, Sam? As I get the nod, yes. Tell you, by the time game 3 rolls around, we're going to have this down to a science. So just that must have been some sort of tip onto the net. So the Mustangs will take the first one, 25-15, and lead it 1-0. So they'll do a little gathering, have a little bit of water during the break. Isla, it's just kind of fun to watch this with, a little bit more about yourself. Obviously, you're starting to get more into the TV and the NCM and the. Tell us a little bit about, I know the Norwood High School, the TV program itself, like the morning news and all that.
Yeah, it's great.
You're heavily involved in that.
I am, yeah.
Well, what kind of drew you to the TV broadcasting stuff?
Honestly, I kind of heard from a couple of my friends who were older than me that they loved the TV program.
Yep.
And I had happened to take, it's a lights, camera, action.
Oh, yeah,
the summer program
one.
that
Yep.
NCM runs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Something drew me to it. It was really fun. And I decided, I was like, you know what, why not? Let's take it freshman year.
Yeah.
And ever since, I've loved it.
Yeah. It's
awesome.
It is an amazing program, and again, Sam Gurney, who is next to us, is one of the products of that, heading off to Syracuse. I see he's already got his Syracuse swag on, so he's heading to one of the premier schools for broadcasting and TV and whatnot. So, you know, I mean, you're finishing up your junior year. What are you kind of looking forward to? We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but what are you looking forward to your senior year? I mean, because then you'll be, you know, kind of ruling the school. What are you looking forward to next year?
Hockey season.
Hockey season.
Of course.
It never ends, right?
Not a surprise.
Yeah.
I also think I'm excited for the college process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's overwhelming at sometimes,
Yep.
but I think it's really cool to be able to like look into your future.
Sure.
You got to set up like your career for yourself,
Right.
and I think it's really cool to kind of close a chapter, but also open another one.
Exactly. Yeah. I will say this, and you know, having done that maybe a little while ago, maybe a long while ago, it is amazing how fast it goes. So it's kind of fun to enjoy, obviously, what you're doing now, and not to like I said, I didn't want to wish your senior year here, because enjoy your junior year.
It's going to fly.
It's going to fly, and you know, the scary thing, it gets faster and faster the older and older you get. Like I said, because you're going to be a senior next year out there on the ice. And I was just saying to you before we got on the air, before you know it, you know, we just had senior night here tonight where, you know, they introduce the seniors and their parents, and you know, come January or February, because we'll be doing playoffs, because you guys will make playoffs next year.
Yeah.
But at some point we're going to do senior night, and so hopefully John Long will ask me to do the PA, and we'll announce your name, and we'll maybe throw in a little nickname or something like that, just to kind of keep it interesting as well.
Yeah.
You know, one of the best volleyball, you know, color commentators of all time.
That's volleyball knowledge.
That's right. Yeah. Had to tell Mr. Hoover that it's 25 points, not 21 points. So they'll switch sides here as we get ready for the second game. As I mentioned, I know this, first 1 to 3 wins. So they will
talked about that earlier.
Yeah, we did.
We made sure to get a few facts down.
That's right. So we know that's the fact. Well, we hope so. Of course, in the interim, they may have changed the rules on us, and we'll see what happens. But I see that Walpole has switched up their libero that we had talked about. So Connor Larkin, who was sporting number 2 in the dark jersey, now switches up for the second game for Walpole, and he switches into number 16. So Walpole gets the service, and we're underway here in the second game. Right there, it's that, you know, that communication situation, right? So Mustangs get the first point. Watkins back to serve and see if they can increase it. Wow.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's, you know, I think they just kind of look back there, and Conti, who's in the back row, number 12 now, who was the libero for the first match. That was just one of those, it was over so fast and on such a line drive, there really wasn't much time to even react to that. Kind of the same thing, and that handcuffs Conti right there, so 2 straight by Watkins. Again, one of 3 seniors. Nice try there by Liam Bryant. It looked like at the last minute he kind of changed hands into the net. So 3 straight points here from Watkins on the serve. That's a nice dig there by Conti. Oh, Mustangs here on a nice little roll. 5-0.
It's all stemming from the serve.
Yeah, it is. That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, it's solid. That was her. Wilson with the call. So when Watkins comes, well, he's not going to come to school tomorrow. You're lucky. He won't, because he is a senior. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have found you in lunch and said,
keep my mouth shut now.
That's right. He would have said, really? I'm on a roll. NCM with that famous jinx. So we'll see if the Mustangs can't get it back. Well, they're able to. Great job there by Walpole not to give up on that ball. Nice little volley going here. Double hit. That's too bad, because that was a nice volley by both squads there. Neither team kind of, really giving up on it. Walpole, the ball was kind of heading out, and I saw over there Duggan went screaming into it and was able to keep the ball alive. Oof. Big spike by Randall, but that's deep, and just like that, Walpole's closed it to within 2 as Mustangs now lead 5-3. Larkin with the serve. It can be a game. It can be a streaky game, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Mustangs had run off 5 straight, and then Walpole answers quite effectively with 4 straight here. So. Good save. Just like that, Mustangs have tied it up. Sometimes you look at a situation like that where maybe sometimes a timeout might come into play, and I'm just looking over the way, but Norwood's going to see if they can't stop this right here. And Watkins looks like he's getting some sort of explanation from the ref. Doesn't get the call changed. Didn't think he would. Again, just kind of like any sport, in hockey, if you try to turn the gloves up like ref, what did I do? They're not going to be like, oh, you were right. So maybe just get an explanation.
They don't really love when you do that.
No. You don't want to become noticed by the referees, right? Try to keep under the radar.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, just kind of watching Cyril Randall, number 13, again, just a freshman, but good, solid player. Conti wasn't quite sure, got caught in between trying to set it. So Mustangs up 7-5. Luke Fleming with the serve as another freshman. That's the dig I think that Conti wanted on that last one. Ooh.
Really nice block there.
Yeah, yep. So Eugene able to keep the lives. We talk about streaks. Mustangs have run off 3 straight here. Trying to see if they can increase that. Yeah, that's to see now that they've switched sides. Eugene's kind of closer to us now. Yeah, and so that's his sweet spot right there. But came over a bit strong. 8-6 Mustangs dug in on the serve. Oh,
really nice play.
That was pretty. Yeah, I mean, he kind of same thing in this spot. Eugene kind of floats by and just flicks at it, hits it to that empty area. Mustangs now up 9-6. So going with the serve, as they say, just a bit outside. It's kind of fun to watch. Again, coaches constantly working with players, and I'm sure you see it in your sport.
Yeah, definitely.
And it kind of helps, right? I mean, if you think about it as a player, especially if you've been for example, called off the ice after a shift, for them to coach kind of say, here, you just work on this or whatnot.
It's really important. Yeah. It is. Your coaches have seen much more of the game than you have.
Right.
And sometimes they have insight that maybe you haven't thought of.
Yep.
And it really can help.
Yeah, and I think doing it not when you're not on the court. For example, I was watching Coach Nimblett, Cohen had come off after that serve, and he's taking the time to talk to him. And it's kind of the same thing. That's I think when a lot of the teaching is done.
Yeah.
So. Meanwhile, another good, solid volley going here on between these two squads here in the second. Mustangs able to get that one, increase the lead by 2, 10-8. But real tight one here in the second. As Randall will step in for the serve. And ace right there. And the celebratory single team jump. Had a couple of those today for the Mustangs. Maybe they shouldn't have done the single team jump because Randall unfortunately put that one to the net. 11-9. Mustangs holding on by 2. Odenigbo with the serve here, the senior. Oof. Block out of bounds, but Mustangs take the point. And again, Sebi Eugene right here in this corner has been solid so far this afternoon. So 12-9, and he'll get the serve. Just a bit deep there as Matthias Nunes was deep on it, so Seb will do it again. 13-9 Mustangs. Oh, nice job.
Really nice setup there.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's just kind of fun to just watch. Like, you don't need to necessarily describe what's going on, so folks are watching it, and then to maybe make comments afterwards. But boy, that was a nice setup by both of them. You could just see they did exactly what they wanted to do in terms of that short set right by the net. And Eugene falls a little short there, but a nice little run for the Mustangs, holding on to a 14-10 here in the second game. They took the first one 25-15. So Conti with the serve for the Timberwolves. That's got to be tough right there. Diaz is like standing right by that line.
Yeah.
And you're like,
smart play there.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Like, is this going to go out? Is this going to stay in? So, yeah, smart play and rewarded with the serve, 15-10. Right into the net, but strong serve, but not to be. So Liam Bryant checks in at the front line for the Timberwolves. And Nunes to get the serve here. Ref checking the board for something. Again, I don't know what's going on. Because they look almost like they're looking at a laptop across the way versus the actual scoreboard, right? So I don't know what, and that's I don't know if the ref saw something or there was whoever's over on the scorer's table. It indicated that there was something going on, but maybe they're just trying to get their update on ESPN or something. I'm maybe checking this. Oh, you know what it probably is? See, they're watching it on NCM because you can watch it online because we're live.
Yeah.
So that's probably they're watching the broadcast.
Exactly.
Keep an eye on things. So a little break here in the action as they try to figure out what's what. And I suppose if I'm Walpole, right, I just, got the point. I want the serve. I'd like to keep going.
Keep the momentum going. Yeah, exactly.
So this kind of slows things down a little bit for both squads, but so the Mustangs this year, as mentioned, have got 4 wins on the season. I think they've beaten Westwood twice and Dighton twice. And Walpole has just the 2 wins, both of them over Catholic Memorial. But again, you've played squads that come in with a record on paper, and it's amazing what sometimes the competition that they play against. So I know they played just the other night against Wellesley, and that's certainly a tough squad.
Always a tough team.
Yeah, in just about in every sport,
in any
right?
Sport.
Yeah, yeah.
At any level too, youth up to high school, always.
Yeah, that is a sports town over there. And, I know our spring sports are starting to wrap up here. The boys have got one more game tomorrow against Medfield here in volleyball. This is going to do it for Walpole's season in volleyball. But baseball's wrapping up their season. Softball, we know, is getting ready to wrap up theirs, plus playoffs, hopefully. And same thing with girls lacrosse. So it's always an active sports season, whether it be fall, winter, or spring. All right, so now the ref is working his way over here. Maybe getting an explanation. We have no idea what's going on. So we are just trying to fill some time here while folks are. So let's talk hockey because that's kind of your jam.
Yeah.
I know you do a lot in the off season.
I do.
But what are we looking forward to next year for what can we folks expect to see in terms of the Mustang hockey for the girls team next year?
I think people will be really excited. We definitely lost a few seniors who were definitely really helpful to our team, but I'm excited to see the freshmen coming up.
Yep.
You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
And it's always good to see girls who are still involved in the program, especially girls sports in general.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we have a hard time filling in teams. I know my freshman year, we kind of had a lack lack of girls. I mean, my grade's not that big.
Right.
I think we only have four seniors
Really?
this year,
Wow,
so
yeah.
definitely small.
Yep.
But it's great to see, the freshmen come up and they get involved. And I'm excited to make it a team.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a team sport.
Yep.
And no matter the record, I think we're going to have a great season.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
It has been so much fun to watch the growth of not only women's hockey, here, but the girls' sports across the way. I mean, we look at, obviously, the success, in your years up here of field hockey, going back-to-back state championships. We look across at some of our banners. I mean, we had the basketball in 2022. We weren't talking before we came on air. The last state championship was 2015. Again, I don't feel so bad for some schools that don't have any state, but it's been a while since we've had stuff. But Norwood has always thrown out competitive sports programs. And, the move from the Bay State to the TVL, some of the schools that we play in the TVL are fantastic, right? I mean, it's a great conference. And, you look at someone like for hockey, being able to play over at the Skating Club of Boston.
It's great.
Isn't it amazing?
I love it.
Yeah.
So to have a home rink.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It's so nice. It is so nice to see, and they have been fantastic over there.
They really have.
We kind of get back to you guys calling the game over there. The setup that Jack and NCM have put together
was
in
great.
terms of cameras, control room
everything.
and all that. Yeah. So, and I know he's trying to get, again, more students involved to almost kind of like run the whole thing.
Yeah.
You have students on the boards, you've got students on the cameras, you've got students calling the game. It's a
really great opportunity.
It really is. Yep. So I am looking forward to the seasons as well. I mean, we've just seen the program grow, as you mentioned, so much in terms of just even at the youth level.
Yeah.
And that's just been so much fun. But the other thing that I like that you guys do, and it's kind of only because it's from my hometown, is the Martha's Vineyard games.
Yeah.
Because I went to high school in Martha's Vineyard,
okay.
so watching you guys go over there and then having them come up now has been kind of fun. It's kind of
definitely always a team favorite.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
we always look forward to at the end of the season.
Yep. And I know sometimes the parents seem to kind of enjoy that trip over there from time to time.
It's fun. It's always a nice break.
Yep.
Something exciting.
Yep.
I mean, most people don't take a ferry to go and play a hockey game.
Yep.
So.
As you can imagine, if the Vineyard has to do it for all of their away games, that can be kind of a wear and tear. But they've got a beautiful facility down there too. It's a
really nice
neat little rink. Yeah.
Cold but nice.
Yes, it is. But the high school program has been just a real pleasure to watch, and certainly looking forward to your senior year and seeing what you guys can continue to do, and so. We are still trying to figure out. I have no idea what it is. Because I thought they've been doing a pretty good job of being able to keep the score on the scoreboard. So it's got to be something with that laptop over there that is still, because it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the scoreboard. If not, we'll just keep score up here. Of course, we also thought the game was to 21, so they probably don't want us to keep score. You see now Mr. Longley's going to go over there and see what he can do. But so whatever it was, we get a big round of applause from the players who were probably tired of just standing around.
Especially Walpole.
Yeah.
They're just going on that great run.
Exactly, yep. So 15-12, whatever issue was going on may have been rectified, and like that, Mustangs get the point. So I'm probably, like you said, if I'm Walpole, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You had that run, and coming out of that delay, Mustangs get it right back. Watkins, who we've seen Isla with that serve, that's in. That's a terrific ace. That's like his second or third ace. There's the jump. It wasn't as much of a jump this time. It was more of a hand thing. So we're not gonna say anything though.
We're not gonna jinx it.
Nope. See, that wasn't us.
No, that wasn't us.
That wasn't us because we said we were not going to jinx it, and so therefore we cannot take responsibility for that one. So Watkins gets the one ace and then comes up a bit long. So 17-13. Terrific dig. And a great save there by Watkins. Oh, wow.
Nothing he could do about that.
No, that was a terrific job there by Dan Duggan on the far side. And yeah, that one just kind of ate him up. hit it so hard and so far that he's actually got to go into the next court to get it. And using his soccer skills, kicks it back down for Larkin for the serve. 17-14 here in game 2. Oh, that double hit. So possession back to Mustangs. Up by 4. Fleming with the serve. Mustangs will just be happy to get that one over. And that's what I've been waiting to see a bit more of, is Odin Igbo just using that height and put it right smack dab in the middle. Makes it 18-15, and point here, and the Walpole can get obviously that much closer. Able to get that one just over Odenigbo, but
Unlucky there.
Yeah, and you could see
all
him.
the work.
Yep. Yeah, he had worked so hard on that point there, and a big smile on his face as he could just go like, oh, he was right there, and it just couldn't put it away. So break for the Mustangs, 19-15. Looking to go up on the second game. And that one went off the beam up top. So a couple here from the Mustangs as Cohen will make the serve. It's always important, Isla, I think, on that first serve, obviously, just to get it in play.
Get it in.
Yep.
Start the play up, and then take it from there.
So Walpole trying to set their offense here. Oh. He could do that, it seems like, all night long. He has just been in that corner. And you kind of see him as Eugene sets up kind of in the middle, and then he'll float around here near side. 21-15. Gonna have to go over here. Nicely done by the Mustangs.
Really nice job there.
That was a great save, because that's one of those that I think Cohen, Isla just wanted to get it over and sent it deep enough that Larkin had to play it. So 22-15. Cohen got a little bit anxious there and kind of tried a running jump serve and wound up halfway into the court. So back to Walpole, trailing by 6.
Another great one there.
He is just on fire this afternoon. There is, Walpole's Isla just has not had an answer for what he has done. And the ball is on Norwood's side, but someone's got to pick it up to serve. So Randall says, all right, I'll serve. 23-16 Mustangs.
Wow.
What a great set. I think Watkins and Eugene have been working so well together. And you can just feel that confidence, right? That
the energy.
Sebi, has as it comes to him. And Randall kind of, you can see he's just a little frustrated with himself on there, because you had that momentum, you had all that, juice going. So game point here for the Mustangs, 24-17. Surprise, surprise.
Who else?
So Sebi Eugene, Mustangs take the second one. 25, I don't think it was 25-23. But I know they won the second one anyway. I'm going to say 25-17. So we'll reset here as they get 3 minutes between game number 2 and game number 3 with the Mustangs with a commanding 2-0 lead. You know, you've been in games where, you know, this is kind of in between periods, as it were. If you're Walpole's coach right now, you know, what are you kind of saying, do you think, to your players to kind of say, look, you know, you're certainly not out of this. What do you need to do to come back?
Tell them to take a deep breath, first of all. It can be very overwhelming when you come back from a period or a game that didn't go your way.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of thoughts and emotions, and it's important to just take a deep breath and be like, okay, let's start from scratch, and let's see where we can go from there.
Yep.
Communication is key.
Right.
They seem to have maybe a few issues here and there of who's going to go for great hits by Sebi, and it's just communication.
Yeah. I think we've talked a lot about that, how important that is, and, you know, probably getting back to some of your basics, right? And it is. We saw in game 2, you know, what a game of streaks it can be, right? I mean, the Mustangs had run off 5 quick, and we probably jinxed them, and Walpole came right back. So, you know, you're never out of this. Now, on the other hand, because you've been on, you know, in between periods when you're ahead coming in that third period, as a team for the Mustangs, what do you think they need to do to kind of really, you don't want to give anybody a chance, what do they need to do to close it out here in the third?
You don't want to get too confident. Obviously, you've been controlling most of the game, but you also need to realize that the team on the other end is going to come back out even stronger. And so you just got to maintain what you've been doing and don't let the foot off the gas.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point, because sometimes that happens, right? You come out, you feel, I don't want to use the word overconfident, right?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And before you know it, you know, now it's 2-1.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's now 2-2. And you don't want to give your opponent that opportunity. So I think that's a great point of not taking your foot off the gas. Finish it out.
Keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah. And I think, that combination of Watkins to Sebi this afternoon has been just astronomical. And I suppose, you know, Okolowitz and the Timberwolves have got to try to find something to take that away. But that tail end of game 2, boy, they were working like clockwork there. So we will head here to the third game. Mustangs up 2-0, winning the first one 25-15, second one 25-17. After a slight delay for some sort of computer problem. We'll send some sort of reporter down there to find out exactly what happened. And get over to Ron Marshall, saying he can tell us about it in Friday's news, sports section. So, yeah, you kind of look to the left. I'm looking at Matty Diaz. You know, he's feeling kind of loose. You know, you got to feel good kind of where you are right now. But as mentioned, don't want to give Walpole a chance, and the Mustangs will get to start the serve here in game number 3. See if Watkins can set the tone early. Oh, and they're back over at the laptop. And it just comes to a screeching halt. We're going to have to find out exactly what that was all about.
We really are.
I think so, right? It's now become a mission because it's clearly not the scoreboard. But we get the thumbs up from the far side ref. Whistles are blown, and we are ready to go here for the third game. And that's a good start for the Mustangs right there, as Watkins is able to get the ace again. Let's see if they can. Oh, now they're starting to come up with different sorts of, that one had like a jump twist to it. So they're starting to get a little creative, but again, Watkins just kind of placing that ball gently here in the far corner. Good job there by Conti, who is back at the libero position. Wearing number 15, so he was there for games 1 and 3, but goes deep by Duggan. And a 3-0 start for the Mustangs here in game 3. Kind of the start you probably wanted, right, Isla? Coming out of that. And there we go again.
There we go again.
You know, I just don't want him looking up here. So that was the start we wanted. So 4-0. Conti with the serve for the Timberwolves. dig. Conti's able to keep that one alive. Good set there to the far side as Larkin sends it deep. I think he was trying to see if that had been touched. But apparently not.
I think they were taking the one away from the serve that we were talking about
right,
earlier.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny because I look up, I go, wait, it
I was
should be
confused.
4. I was, yep,
Yeah.
yep. See, it wasn't us, it was them.
No, exactly.
Fair enough. Nice try there, Diaz deep. 4-2 Mustangs here in the third. Duggan will take the serve. Nice solid serve by Duggan. Wait, that had. I wasn't quite sure that went out, but I wasn't quite sure exactly how Odenigbo got that one. I thought it came up underneath because they swung that one again around out to set. Yeah, it was. So 5-2 Mustangs. As Duggan is subbed out. Diaz with the serve. Nice strong serve. It's going to have to go over. Nice play by Nunes.
Really nice save there.
Yeah, that's a great dig, but boy, you could just see him kind of hanging up in the air. And that one was not to be. You know, it's interesting, Isla. I kind of look at this like, you just don't want him to get like too overconfident, right?
Yeah.
That thinks, and you saw in that last one there, he's, you know, just get back to what you were doing in game 2. And don't try to get too fancy. It's a good response by the Mustangs to get that point back. Yep, that's important. So Ridley Amino checks in, number 15. Again, another one of those freshmen. I think this might be his first time in today, but he'll take the service here. Nice serve by the freshman. Oh, that's too bad as Odenigbo came through again. Isla's got that nice touch, yeah. And just a little wide. So 7-3. I was going to say, you know, 2 hits. We saw Odenigbo with a foot. And as long as you're not hitting it twice, just get it over. Lamino's got a nice serve. He's got a deep spot, and that's going to go deep. And a nice little streak here by the Mustangs. 9-3. Oh. Nice little run, though, there by the freshman. Came in and did a terrific job, and he'll sub out. So Coach Nimla's got to be pleased with Ridley's work, as he's got to make sure he goes on the right side out. There he goes. Coach is very excited about that. That'll get some high fives from folks. Picked up 3 straight points there on nice serve. Oh, great serve. That's a nice response there by Odenigbo. So 9-5, and see what the senior can do. Careful. That's back to it.
Back to it.
Yeah, that's what we're used to seeing.
That's the basics.
That's right, that's right. But again, Watkins is just setting him perfectly there on the far side. So 10-5 Mustangs. Sebi with the serve. Oh, what a block. When I've noticed, Isla, is when they send Sebi back there, then Akeem goes on to that. And they don't seem to miss a beat over there.
No.
I mean, obviously there's a little bit of a height difference. Akeem doesn't have that same height that Sebi does. But boy, you know,
bring something else.
His vertical there is just great. They don't really miss a beat. Nice recovery. Singer tries to put it away for Walpole, can't do so. Nice little volley going here.
Wow.
Right now, they are really firing on all
Really
cylinders.
nice job by Norwood there.
They really are. So 12-5 here in the third. Trying to see if they can't close this out. It's a nice deep serve. Terrific work there by Conti to save it. Mustangs trying to settle it down. Oh, reverse.
Wow.
Wow. Like, it just, that's an amazing shot. And he obviously meant to do that,
Yes.
right? He's got everybody.
That got me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, where's he go? Oh, that's where he's going. And everyone's looking in one direction. And Sevi serves it into the net there to stem the tide, but nice run there. Isla by the Mustangs. So Colin Singer with the service. Can't quite get that, a little frustration there from the senior. Mustangs able to win the service back. Up 8 here in the third, 14-6. Terrific job so far on both sides. This one's got to go over. Ow, terrific. And this one's got to go over. Neither squad here here's the setup.
Oh, unfortunate there.
Yeah. Great job by both squads, though. You know, I mean, it was one of those, neither squad was giving up.
Yeah.
So 14-7. So Nunez with the serve.
Good recovery there.
Yeah. He got a little deep and yet stepped with it. Oh, that's too bad. You know, great job there by Cohen to kind of, you could see he was about ready to try to see if he could make the leap on that. And then I think he realized he wasn't in proper position, so just put it back into play, and the deflection took it past Conti. 15-7. Watkins back for the service. Watkins has been quite a story here this afternoon, both service and sets, and occasional behind-the-back points. So I think Kolowitz is going to take another timeout here. Squad down 16-7 in the third, already down the first two. You know, I think they're doing exactly, Mustangs are doing exactly what you suggested that they do.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of coming out here for that third set.
Just keep going.
Yep. I mean, you've got a chance here. I'm going to assume the third's also going to be to 25, but if not, I'm sure Mr. Gurney will tell us where we come in and stand on scoring. So I think we got the thumbs up from our, official down there. So probably a good idea for Walpole just to at least kind of, like you said, take that breath.
Yes. Do their best to try to get back into the game.
You know, because it is kind of sometimes interesting, because I've coached and been on teams that that you might be playing a better team, and so sometimes it's work on little things.
Yes.
Right? Work on little things.
Work on the things you can control.
Exactly. So, and then sometimes those things take care of themselves, but we'll see what we can do. As I see that Sam Narala, another freshman, number 21, is checked in. Terrific serve, still alive. Norwood gets the point, but
powerful serve.
Yeah, there's not much that you can do on that. And the dig there, I think Singer just shot that one straight up, missed everything. Another great dig. A little deep there by Nirala. But again, they're trying to set that far corner. That's been very successful
really
all
do
day.
Like that corner.
They do, yep. So Sam, the outside hitter, freshman, number 21. So they'll bring him back here into this position. (17-8). Oh.
Really nice block there.
That's what I'd been expecting to see a lot of that today by Odenigbo. And, you know, I think Randall's just kind of sitting there going, you know, that guy's just a lot bigger than me right there. And was in perfect position for that block. And a couple straight here by Walpole made it 17-10. So we talked, you know, maybe about working on some of those basics, and some stuff will start to take care of itself. Get the whistle there, maybe into the net. 17-11. So Walpole, yeah,
coming back here.
Yeah, making a little run. Conti with the serve. Again, getting that, just getting it in play, right? Great one-arm dig there by Conti. Oh!
Oh, God. It's unfortunate there.
Oh, yeah. I was like, will that come down without hitting the beam? And like, as it came down, I think it hit one of the nets or one of the backboards up there. And so Sam will sub out here as Hakeem comes back in, the other sophomore outside hitter. But yeah, nice little run here by the Timberwolves, closer to within 5. Conti kind of on a roll. And just like that, an important stop, I think. So Cohen, who just subbed in for Nirala, will take the serve here with the Mustangs up 18-12. Big point, I think, is Duggan was kind of hoping to put that one away. Came overhand hard, but right into the net, so 19-12. It's still in. Wow. What a fantastic play by Walpole. I'll tell you, whoever wins this point. Wow. Oh. What a fantastic point.
What a play there by Walpole.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Keep it in.
That was just amazing. I think they just got him maybe with a carry. So it stays Norwood. But the whole thing was just amazing. So Mustangs up 20-12. Walpole trying to stay alive. Oh, it's been very effective on both sides.
It has been.
Karavitz.
It all comes back to Watkins, just setting them up.
Yeah, yeah. He has been like really kind of like the star. He's been everywhere with his serves and the setups and occasional point scoring. But yeah, as the setter, he is doing exactly what his job is. So 22-12 there, as that one kind of looked like Liam Bryant was more like self-defense, just to try to protect himself from Sevy's windmill. Team sends that one just outside. So 22-13. Dan Duggan with the serve for the Timberwolves. Oh, we'll take that. Friendly roll. So 22-14 gets back for a second one. See if we can do that again. Well, he's got the net down. Unfortunately, didn't quite get it exactly over what he was hoping for. So 23-14. Diaz trying to see if he can't close it out. Oh.
Wow.
You know, I mean, that's just amazing, right? We've seen his power, and then just the smarts to do what he just did there.
Shows his ability to understand the game right there.
Exactly. That's a great point. That's such a smart play. So 24-14 here on senior night. Diaz asks for quiet, and he gets it. Walpole trying to stay alive. They can't. And on senior night, the Mustangs take it 25-14, and they will take the match 3-0. Quite a quick one in terms of that, but a terrific showing by the Mustangs as they now move to 5-11. And again, they've got one more tomorrow, I think, here at home against Medfield. So a tough matchup there. What a great way, you know, to have, this afternoon here on senior, I'll call it senior night. It's still light out here, but it's senior night.
Senior afternoon.
Senior afternoon, exactly. A strong showing, you know, from these Mustangs. You know, looking at it now, what do you have to, you know, what do you think was obviously some of the positives that Mustangs can take from this one going into tomorrow's game?
They had really good communication. I would keep it up. I think Watkins did a great job setting up either side. I think that was definitely a strong suit for Norwood, and they found something they were good at and they capitalized on it. For Walpole, unfortunately, they just weren't able to figure out how to exactly handle it, and Norwood hit them.
Yeah. They made you make some great points there. I thought Watkins was fantastic, right? I mean, that's why they have him down here as setter, and he did exactly what he needed to do this afternoon, whether he was setting Eugene or setting Cohen, or even, you know, I think Lamino came in there for a couple times, and we had some other folks. Karavitz, I know, got in. And the fact that there are so many freshmen on this squad, right? I mean, it's a fantastic statement.
It's promising too.
Very, very, very much so. So, what a thrill it is for these young guys. You know, kind of a bittersweet moment for seniors, right? And their parents and guardians and family and friends. But a terrific match here as the Mustangs take care of the Timberwolves 3-0, and won it in convincing fashion. Again, our special thanks to Sam, who corrected us quite, you know, eloquently on what the game is to. It's to 25, not to 21. I'm just thinking of beach volleyball. That's what I was thinking of. And Ron Marshalsea, who was down in the control room, who's come up on the track to make sure we're all behaving ourselves, putting it all together. So for Isla Wilson, I'm Mark Hoover. I want to thank everybody for joining. It was a pleasure. This was a lot of fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
All right, sweet.
It's awesome.
And we will look forward to seeing you on the rink in this winter. So tune in for that. She's going to be lightening up this winter. So your final here once again from Norwood High School. The Mustangs win this one 3-0. For everyone here at NCM, have a great afternoon.
My name is Mateo Diaz. I'm a senior and I play volleyball.
Hi, my name is Xavier Watkins. I play boys volleyball and I'm a senior.
I'm Sebastian Eugene. I'm a senior and I play volleyball.
My favorite TV show is How I Met Your Mother.
My favorite TV show is Lucifer. It's on Netflix.
My favorite TV show is, I'd say Rick and Morty.
My pregame ritual is I like listening to music before my games.
Yeah, pregame ritual. I'll eat some food. Doesn't really matter where. Just eat some food that'll fill me up and just listen to good music.
Pregame ritual? I don't really have one, but if I were to do like kind of a pregame ritual, I'd probably just eat Skittles.
My favorite spring sport memory is me as a freshman playing varsity volleyball.
Spring sports memory? Just playing. Just the energy in the team. Everyone wants to be here. Everyone wants to play. So.
Spring sports memory? Definitely when X set me, I went up to go attack. I completely missed it, but then I got up back on the ground and I still received it to get it over the net. It was kind of crazy.